Hello, welcome back to another Five channel. I'm Jacob from Jacob's Bookstore, and today we're going to be talking about Queen of Ever Darkness. This is my spoilery vlog. I've already read it. I just want to come in here and do a quick intro for you guys so you guys know what we're reading and stuff. I also don't give an update on the first 150 pages, if I'm not mistaken, as I think I did in my initial update. So I don't remember the big things that happened with the first 150 pages. We're going to jump directly into spoilers. This whole vlog is spoilery and things. I also like to mention, if you guys hate kitten tie content, probably not the video for you, because there's a lot of it. I talk about it a lot, but just a forewarn. But with this in particular, the first 150 or so pages is dedicated to Livy's funeral. That's all I'm going to say, is I truly don't remember if I talked about it in that second clip or not. If you guys want more thoughts and opinions on it, I liked it. It was really sad. It was really hard to read, but I think it was done really well. It's one of the things I really think the book does really well, which I talked about in the outro. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the rest of this video, where you can see me experience Queen of Air and Darkness, which was a moment. So, hi, it is time to update you guys on Queen of Air and Darkness. I got to page roughly 187 yesterday, chapter 10, so I do have I have like a 20% update to tell you, just to kind of get you guys in the grooves of what's going on in the story, setting stuff up, and how annoying this book is. Oh my god. Not annoying by I'm not liking it. I'm just so mad at the characters and the choices that are being made by everybody. And I understand, but there's also moments in it that I really like. For instance, okay, let's talk about my favorite things, and we'll talk about the things that I'm just so annoyed about, that I feel like we've gained so much from the previous two series, and we've worked so hard to not go back to old ways that we're just going backwards. It's just super discouraging and super duper annoying, and it just seems really repetitive, and I'm just kind of annoyed by the awards. Okay, we'll talk about them. We'll get there. But the first thing we're going to talk about is Kitten Tie, where there's a moment, and I can't even tell you what's going on in the moment, but I'm putting away books or whatever at my library, and I'm listening, and it's a Kitten Tie scene, which there's plenty of now because Libby is dead, which is really, really sad. And Kit's whole storyline, Tie's whole storyline in this book is bringing back Libby from the dead, in a non-necromancy way, which I'm very curious to see what that looks like, as I've never seen anybody bring anybody back from the dead by a non-macro, you know what I mean? And it does make sense that that's a big element here, as it was a big element in Lady Midnight, and then the consequences of bringing back Annabelle was a huge element of Lord of Shadows, and so, yeah, that's right. And so Queen of Air and Darkness, that would make sense that Libby. I also really hope they're not playing this out, that Tie would become the big villain of one of these series going forward, as I think there's another one of these that's set 4 years after this, if I'm not mistaken, in 2016. Either way, not out yet. That's the next trilogy that's coming out. Right now we're backwards in time, telling the prequels again, and which I'm not ready yet. That's over there. Where are you? You can't see it. Either way, there was this moment, and they're describing we're in it's third person, but we're technically in Kit's head or whatever, and he's in that cute smile, and I was like, oh my god, is it happening? It's happening. But it happened. I feel like it could happen, and with Ty having so many, he's such a dynamic, interesting character, a character that we've never seen in the Shadowhunters world again, that I think he's probably one of my favorite characters, and this relationship is one of my favorite relationships. Even if it just becomes a best friend relationship, I still think it's probably one of the best relationships to develop throughout the series, in my personal opinion. And I just love it so much, where it's not I think everybody here is done really well, but I really, really like it, and how he's dealing with grief and all this other stuff. Either way, my plans of supporting them and hoping that they're going to get together looks like it's happening. And you know what? I'll read this behemoth of a novel to get there. I'm not going to lie to you. I will. I'll read 4 more to get there. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, so that's play. So that's what's going on with them. They're bringing back people from the dead. I'm just now really getting into it. It's been a very slow build-up. The first chunk of this book is Libby's funeral, which is understandable, and the Lightwood's dad. I want to say his name is Richard, but Robert. It's Robert. I want to call him Richard because he's a dick, but it's Robert. their funeral together based on the events that happened in the ends of Lords of Shadows, everybody dying when they broke the sword. Um, and yeah, so that means we're out of someone who's running and the whole 9 yards. This really fucked up a lot of shit. So then we jump over to Julian, and because like all the other kids are being sent, but they got sent back to like with, which was really cool. I feel like there's some type of plot hole in there where Helen and her wife could go back to LA's institute with all the rest of the children who are not going, including Kit and Ty. They also went with them. I don't really pay attention to the other children as they've never had anything bigger to do. They're a little bit younger, and any of the older ones are just there to take care of them. And so I just don't really find it very interesting, I'm being honest with you. It's there. Christina's storyline is interesting because of her relationships with the Fae. But other than that, she's always been there. I really like them. I don't mind reading from them. I just don't have anything else that you guys want about it. They're being dicks. That's basically all you got. They're being dicks. But with Julian and obviously our main character Emma, who we're supposed to be following, but now we're so past that, as every story, every book does. With Jules and Emma, their relationship got a lot more interesting because he was starting to go evil. Was essentially what was trying to be portrayed to us in a few different contexts or whatever. He was doing some shady shit, okay? And so he went to Magnus, who is sick. I don't think I've talked about the sickness. This is a warlock sickness. They're not really sure why. I have a feeling it's going to be resolved in this, but I do know the second book of the White Book of Magic in the Red Scrolls trilogy follows the whole reason why he is sick. If I'm not mistaken, how he got sick and things. I think that's what that whole book is about. But I'm pretty sure it will get resolved somewhere in here. If it's not, I would be really curious why. Maybe it's the big, huge thing of the next series. I don't really know. But he's really sick, but he went to Magnus and he was like, hey, you gotta take away my feelings towards Emma. It's causing too much drama. There's too much at stake right now. Honestly, if we continue on this pathwards, people are gonna get hurt. You gotta do this. And Magnus was like, dude, if I take away your power of love, it's gonna ruin everything else inside you. I can do it. There is ways to do this. And he was like, I don't care. We have to go forward. We have to do this. And so that's what essentially they do. And yeah, either way. And then the fucking Accords. It's just so fucking annoying. Because, like, I feel like we've made such gigantic leaps towards getting away from the Accords. And I knew that they were going to get a Howler. And I knew this was going to be the thing. And I'm sure everything's going to resolve by the end. And I'm not really worried about it, to be honest with you. But it's just so nasty the way they talk. And it's so, like, it's just so gross. And I didn't really... Do you? I don't really know. I fucking hate him. I hate Zara. I hate her dad. And he's now the new person in charge. And they're sending... Now the dad's like, okay, we're going to send Jules and freaking Emma to Faye because they can be expendable. And we just learned that he's sending other people to Faye so they can kill him. And so they're gone. I don't understand. I mean, I get it. The Blackthorns have a very bad back history, okay? From what we understand and from what I've read from, like, previous novels to this series or whatever, the Blackthorns are complicated. But you're not gonna fucking murder the whole fucking family. I just fucking can't. I'm getting annoyed. Because I care so much, And there's also images throughout here. So I'm gonna go see if I can't find a few. I can get to see them while I read. But we can look at them together, as I'm curious to see what they are. This was the first book. I don't know if Chain of Iron has the same one. This image, I'm just trying to mark this up. This image is of Magnus taking away the love for Julian, which happens relatively early on. I'm listening to it as an audiobook, so, I don't really have anything to say on that. Oh my gosh, that was powerful. Anything to do with Libby's death, I found to be really, really powerful. So this is Ty one up there, and I'm pretty sure it's Kit. It's either Kit or it's Mark. Oh, the whole Mark Christina love triangle. It's not really a love triangle. I think they all love each other. It's really fascinating. I'm just like over it. It's just a thing. I really like I just don't find Christina have chemistry with either of them. I feel like this is just a whole thing of Mark and Kieran mad at each other, so let's go have sex with Christina. And that's just my personal opinion on the matter. And I don't really know if I'm the one who is out in the wrong. I'm sure there's ships for both people, but I just don't. Alright, that's the the last big picture. I don't know why they put pictures and stuff in here for them. I'm not mad about it though. I like it. I like having that whole thing. Alright. Those are my updates. Hello. Okay. Welcome back. We were talking about Clean Fairy and Darkness, as you guys do know. What a weird little thing. Either way, I officially started picking the book back up. I've been reading it for the past 2 days. I read, I think, 20%, 30% of the book, and then I had just jumped back into it, and I have to finish it by, like, tomorrow. So, I'll be updating you throughout the day, or throughout the time. We have several images to go over, and I'm also going to talk about some very specific pinpoints. There's so much that happened that I don't even know how to describe it. The only thing I do know how to describe to you is that the first 40% was very annoying and very, it hurt me, essentially. But there is a few moments I do want to talk about before we jump into the big moment, okay? Which if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Or one of the big moments. I'm sure there's others that are coming up because we still have this much to go and things. And that is, of course, Kit. Kit is by far one of my favorite Shadowhunter characters of all time. Ty. Kit and Ty it's my favorite, and we got a little bit developing. So Ty's story, basically this whole book, is that he wants to bring Libby back from the dead. Libby obviously died, and his whole goal is to bring back Libby from the dead, and Kit is so devoted that he's just going along with it because he just wants to see him happy. Which just breaks my heart, but I love it so much. I just adore them. It's just my favorite thing in the whole world. And they hug, and it was like a very, very sensual embrace. And I smiled, and I stopped, and I was like, I love this. This is my favorite thing of all time. So, once again, if they're not in-game, I'm gonna be so mad. If one of them dies, I'm gonna be so mad. And when they meet Libby again in the other world, she even makes a comment that he could end up with a boy. And I was like, yeah, he's gonna end up with a boy. He's gonna do it. They need it. They need it. Alright, side note. We're gonna talk about some things because a lot of things happened. So basically what happened is that Julian and Emma, I think I talked about this, I'm not sure, get sent off to Fairy because of all the stuff that happened at the end of the last book and the council changing. They get sent on the suicide mission to bring back the Book of Black, or the Black Book of the Dead, who in the possession at the moment was having by Annabelle, the Queen of Air and Darkness. And so they had to go to Fairy. So when everybody else found out about they had to go to Fairy, Christina went to Fairy and everything else. Well, also in Fairy, Clary and Jace were there because Clary had saw a premonition that she was going to die, essentially. And she was really worried and she didn't want to tell anybody, but she wanted to figure out what it was. And it was the fact that, well, we'll get there. But a key player in Fairy right now is Ash. Ash is the son of Sebastian Morgenstern and the Queen of Fairy. You know who I'm talking about, Sealy Queen. They had sex, obviously. They gave birth to a child. That child is now he was like 7, I think, when the book is to where we meet them, when we meet him first time. And essentially, the King of Fairy, who's been a very big problem this whole time, and that's Kieran's father, has been siphoning dark magic from a world of unknown to make the warlocks in our world, or in their world, sick. Which is the reason why Magnus has been sick. I'm sure this is brought up again. I've been told it's another partial plot line in wherever that's at. It goes to the Shadow Market, which is right here. This book right here. Which follows Zachariah. I can say that. Yeah, probably Zachariah. That's who it is. And so, which, I guess if you're reading these, you know who that is. I'm not going to spoil it. And I'm pretty sure it does deal with some facts of that. Or maybe they don't. But the other ones, which I also have, The Lost Book of the Light, and then the Dark Curses series, which, I don't know where the first one is. The Red Scrolls of Magic. I think deal with it as well. I think the Lost Book of the White deals with it, where Magnus first gets sick. And there's so much to talk about. So they go on this mission or whatever to find the Lost, and they end up getting captured by, they want to, essentially the Sealy Queen gets the book, and they want to kidnap her son, use him as ransom to get the book back, to go back, and to prove that it wasn't a suicide mission, also for them to be under the good graces of the council, which they obviously are not. Well, they end up getting captured. They end up meeting Clary and Jace. There ends up being a battle between Clary, Jace, Annabelle, Ash, the king of fairy, and the queen of fairy. The queen of fairy ends up getting struck down. I actually very much don't believe she dies. And then Emma and Julian end up fighting off all these other people, leading them into seeing this portal of Vow, I think it's what it's called, or Four or something, which is this world that Clary that he's drawing dark magic from, that Clary saw in her vision. So she believes it's her fault. The king ends up dying, and Ash, Annabelle, Julian, and Emma end up getting thrown up into this new world. So a big part of what I read today was taking place in that world. I'm going to go through some images before we get there, but, oh, okay, I just lost the page because the book closed. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm not really sure what happens in that one. So there's this one. Once again, I'm not really sure what's happening here. Christina and Mark, that's who that is. And then we have this one, which is Emma. And a part of, like, the fairyland and where they were at was thorns, and so that's what this is symbolizing. And then we also have Libby, which we're about to get to, which she never died in this world. All of her siblings died, essentially, except for Emma and Julian. And so inside the world of wherever they're at, I can't remember exactly what it's called, Libby ended up surviving. She ended up being this, like, person in rebellion. Every Lorlock turned into a demon, and either turned into a demon or died. Parapetite, if you were first Parapetite when the world started going down, ended up going crazy and killing a whole bunch of people and becoming demons, basically what they're feared the most to become if they fall in love is essentially what they turned into, at least what it's informed by. Sebastian Morningstar never died, and he actually ended up winning the war from Mortal Instruments, is essentially, it's like the Battle of the Ash or something. Ash ends up getting under the protection of Sebastian. Annabelle ends up being a person who tortures a whole bunch of people, but she also becomes under the protection of Sebastian. Clary ends up dying in that war, and so Jason became good again. He obviously does have some type of heart, as it's shown towards the end of the war that we're about to get into. And so basically there's so many chapters that do follow Emma and Julian, but Emma and Julian don't have their Parapetite powers because all the powers of the angel were stripped from this very world, which is why it's so dark and spooky and stuff. Guns are now being used as weapons instead of swords, and so you have Libby here with a shotgun, essentially, because that's what was being used. That's what, it couldn't kill them, but it could definitely defend them. And basically we learned that Sebastian wants to get all of the mortal instruments, which were never broken and never destroyed, from our timeline to their timeline, to basically to control everybody, to control whatever is left of the population that is not being controlled or dehumanized. And so they set out and they find Tessa Gray, the only warlock that would never get sick from this, because she is a very special warlock, which we all know. She's a shape-shifting one. I'm assuming that's what it is. I still can't tell you what she is. I'm sorry, it's just not, I just don't know, but she turns into what she's supposed to at the end of in this book as well. So there's that. In the world that they're a part of. They find out in this world that Christina is transgender, so I'm curious to see what the fallout of that is. I don't think there will be any personal fallout. I'm just curious to see what they do with that going forward, since that was not something they knew before going in, but the Christina there thought they already knew because the 6 years had not gone forward, or 7 years from the war. Then we also have basically just a whole bunch of, like, inner conflicts. Emma and Julian never got his curse, which I don't think I've ever mentioned. He got a curse taking away all his, like, emotions, essentially, and so that never came about, and so they end up having sex very graphically. This book is very dark and very graphic. I was very shocked. I was quite shocked in multiple moments. I had to say there's a lot of death, a lot of sadness. Ty was dead, and that made me cry. Not kidding, literal tears, even though I knew Ty was fine in our world, but that world, yeah, so sad. It's like, not Ty, my Ty, my favorite, my precious angel. I really want a book series to follow him, but he's not a girl, so it's not happening, and I just know that. It just sucks. I would really love some Titan kid if they survive. I don't know yet. I'll know. Continue on, Jacob. And so essentially they agree, and so they track down Tessa Gray, and Tessa Gray is like, I can get you into the silent wards and stuff, which simply means that we can get the mortal instruments and you can take them back. Well, Annabelle still has a lot of dark power and stuff because dark power manifests there, and so the black book of the dead is very powerful there, and so simply and essentially that means that she can make a portal for them to go home, and her only goal is to get Ash to go home with them, so Ash can live a better life than when he's living here, because currently, like I said, he's living with the hair and Jace and Sebastian and stuff. Also, there's a line, and it was a throwaway line, but it's like, if you see any redheads out there, make sure you send them our way, so me and Jace can do things to them together. And just like, there's so many undertones to that's just so disgusting, and I just had to throw it up there because the incest storyline that I really was happy when Sebastian died went away with just decided to come back in this amazing novel, and I don't know if I can give it 5 stars just for a throwaway line, but I want to give it like a 4.95, you know what I mean? Sue me. It's just how I feel. And so essentially they go into the Silent City, and they get the mortal instruments. They come out, they end up realize they're being ambushed. There's this whole battle that goes on, and a lot of people die. That's essentially the answer. Annabelle ends up dying officially because that was Annabelle from our world. Julian kills her for the revenge of Libby, which was really poetic and very happy. Sebastian ends up getting killed in that world, and a lot of demons and stuff end up being hurt because the Undarkened are no longer Undarkened, and so the world itself had a victory, and it was like the war had begun. Emma ends up killing him. Then Ash turns into, which is how he dies, Ash turns into his angel self, which makes sense because Sebastian was part, I guess, angel, because obviously it wasn't the fairy side, it was definitely Sebastian's side. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, why he turned into an angel, but he did. Tessa turned into her clockwork symbol thingy. Clockwork. Yeah, the little pendant. She turns into that. She ends up, I'm pretty sure, dying. And then they end up getting transferred back home. Now we're dealing with the ramifications of that because then they have all the mortal swords and stuff, and so nothing really broke. I have a feeling I'm going to cut the pair of tie bond to break it so Julian can go back to normal and they can fall in love. I don't know if that's what's going to happen or not, or that was the only wink. Also really interesting, it's been 3 months inside this world since they had last disappeared, and that means that 3 months have passed between Kit and Ty in their mission to do this thing about bringing back Lily from the dead. And if that's the truth, then are they on the path to do that? Are they together? Like, I need answers. And I understand that's not like the point of this book, and the point of this book, I'm officially confused because there's like 40 more percent or 30 more percent of the book. No, it's 40. So I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. I mean, we have Zola and stuff, and her tyrantry, and it's annoying, and so I'm just like, I really thought the other stuff was more interesting, but that's over. We're done with that. But we spent like 100 pages on it. I was real shocked. Not in a bad way. Like, it was a good shocking way, but it wasn't like a bad way. That's my update. I'll surely be updating you as time progresses this evening, as I'm going to be listening to it while I do all my worky stuff that I gotta get done, because I only have like 2 days left of the audiobook. But, yeah, I'm on page 580, and I will update you when I'm further, or when when something shocking happens, I'll jump on here, essentially is what it's gonna be, and I'll give my full thoughts and opinions. I had to come in here. So as you guys do know from this vlog, and I'm sure you guys have realized, Kit and Ty are my favorite characters of the Dark Artifice series. I like the other ones, I enjoy them, and I don't get mad when I hear their stories, but I do very much like Kit and Ty specifically. They're my favorites, so I came in here to update you about Kit, because, like, So, first things first, we just figured out the warlock they're working with to bring Libby back is the son, I'm assuming, of, I can't think of his name now. I just heard it literally 2 seconds ago, and I could bring it up, but it's going to be kind of hard to find. The warlock that died, Magnus's best friend, I talked about him a lot in the Bane Chronicles. He's such a great guy. I really liked him. I didn't like him in the series, but I really liked him as like a standalone character in that particular one-off. And the one-offs that he was a part of. I can't think of his name. Either way, this is like his spinoff or whatever. Also, Jace is the reason why the warlock is helping them, because he was like, hey, I want you to look after him. He's a relative of mine. You need to do it. And we also just learned that his mother was the Herondale, which is interesting. I have some thoughts and opinions, and I don't really have theories yet, but I'll get there. And that his dad was not a Herondale. His dad, I think I'm not really sure. Tessa has some great interests. Tessa has some great interests because she's talking to Emma right now about them. I don't know that conversation. We went away from that conversation, but when I know more, I'll let you know. Did I tell you that Annabelle died? Yeah, I think I did. I think that was my big long update. Either way, I'm ready to cry. I still say it's 5, but I'm begrudgingly saying it's 5. I have to finish it today within the next 4 hours, so I'm sure I'll update you guys more frequently than used to. You know, when reading this book, I was not expecting a threesome. Not that I'm offended by thruples. If the thruple is what you want, a thruple is what you should have. And I think that is probably the wisest decision between Kieran and Mark. Because obviously Kieran and Mark really love Christina. Christina really loves Kieran and Mark. Kieran and Mark obviously love each other. You know, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think I support this. I just was not expecting it. That's my thoughts on the situation. Because I'm sure I'm never going to talk about it again. There you go. There you go. Is this whole video going to be me mentioning references of Ty and Kit falling in love? Who knows? But here's another one. So I do have an update for you. The emotions that, because if you guys remember, Jamie was Julian. Jules. Jamie Jules. I don't know. Julian had the marks put on him, so he stopped feeling emotions. So those got stripped just a minute ago. More people are dying because of them. So I'm curious what that comes out to be. So this really is a battle against the Clave again and us. So that all happened, but also kids falling in love with Ty, and I'm just here for it. That's all I got for you. I really do hope that the rest of the books have something like this. This is such a cool addition. Oh, by the way, I moved over. I'm reading with it, but have an actual like picture in it and stuff. So cool. See, this is the problem with updating you as I read this, because I can update you during lines of like freaking out about Kit and Ty. You know what I mean? Like, there's other things that's happening. They're getting ready for the war. The Clave knows that they're getting ready for the war. Like, it's a whole thing. But this is the line I wanted to read to you, okay? Ty's been faced with limited light from the red gold flames to never be being parted, he said with a grave emphasis that made Kit shiver for reasons he did not understand. I tell you. I am quite excited. I'm also really nervous because I'm not ready for people to die, and I do have a feel like that this is gonna hurt me. The last like 200 or so pages of this book is gonna hurt me, but I'm gonna read it, so I'll keep you posted. I have some thoughts. I have some fucking opinions. I'm getting a little livid. It's pretty funny. Okay, so they brought back Livy from the dead. I have a picture to show you, because some of you guys maybe just listened to the book and didn't get to see the beautiful artwork that art dance. I'll show you the artwork later. So I'm getting kind of mad. I'm going to go through the reasons why. So I like everything. I think the idea of Christina and how they handled that was really nice. It was Christina. Right? Diana. How they handled Diana. I liked how they handled Christina and her stuff as well. But this whole chapter really does seem to be, it's called Attempt to the Water. And Ty did something bad. So Ty chose an object that couldn't really bring back Livy fully. So now she's a ghost. But Kit learned that it's I love yous. Kit was like, I love you. And and Ty was just so hell-bent. And this goes back to that line earlier on. I'm trying to find it. I'm wondering if this is what that line meant. And then there's a line that was said here. There's nothing if you aren't there. Pity and spears ripped through Kit. He couldn't hate Ty for this, but he would never mean anything to Ty. Never had. That much is clear. I don't think that's true. Okay? I'm going to be very firm here. I don't think this is true. There's been too many moments in between Kit and Ty to prove. I think Ty is just going through a lot, and I think Kit doesn't understand. And I just, I don't know. I'm not done with it yet. It could be rectified here in a second. I was trying to read it forward. So yeah, I'm not really, once again, ready for the big battle. It does look like there's at least 2 more images to come our way. So maybe I'll do a roundup at the end and talk about them. I'm not really sure. I think this is a 5-star, guys. That's a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna continue. My newest note is I've made 741, which is 200 pages than I was like an hour ago. I feel bad for anybody who doesn't read all these books. You know, I've been trying to think about it and stuff. The first 3 are important. It's all to do with Valentine, and it's talked about a lot. The Dark War. But honestly, they're not great. You know, I think the first one's pretty bad. I think the second one, from what I can remember, is okay. I think I would enjoy them now that I'm, like, used to the writing, and I like the characters, and I know where they go, and stuff. I still don't like Simon. I like new Simon. I don't like old Simon. So I don't know how much I'd enjoy all that. But for people who just, like, jump in, you know, you can just jump into the Dark Artifice and read them. They're great. I really like them. I don't think they're my favorite series. I think they come up with some of my favorite characters. I still think the Infernal Devices are probably my favorite, which is why I'm really looking forward to Chain of Iron, Chain of Gold, or Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. I think the short stories are important. I'm going to say it right now. I think they're important. I think they're very important. So, that's my thing. Because, like, Ragnar is a throwaway character in the books. But as, like, if you know Bane's story and you know everything he's been through, he's not a throwaway character. But if you're just reading them, and there's important moments with Ragnar throughout the whole series, but it's really, you know, you don't get the line. He wore Ragnar lives to t-shirt to battle. Like, you don't get that unless you read the books. Or, you know, Raphael. I know they did a lot with Raphael in the first trilogy, but I didn't understand him, Raphael, you know, mostly because I thought he was like an annoying little twerp. Also, I thought he probably a TV show, but at least it pictured him older when he was only like 16. And so, yeah, I that's my opinion. I don't think it's going to change. These books are phenomenal. It's like one of the best series I've ever read. And I mean that. You know, I just really like the writing. I think it's really well written. I think the characters are really well done. They are long, ridiculously long. But here's the thing. Everybody complained about the battles being too short. I complained about it in previous videos as well. And this battle's been going on for like 80 pages. Or 50 pages or something like that. Which, actually, maybe not. Maybe, well, almost 50 pages. And I'll say that's pretty good. I'll say that's a pretty good battle length. You know, it's still going. It's not over yet. I still think we have at least maybe like another 50 pages of it. So, good for her. Kit and Ty are pissing me off, but that's where here or there. I just want to come in here and I want to talk about that. Also, Kieran is the person, the king of Fae, or in Sealy Court. It's not really Fae. So that's also very cool and interesting. I don't, Kit, Kit is what are they called? Something I didn't pay attention to. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is one of those things that kind of ran over my head. I'm looking, Raiders Manam. They had met back in London. I think maybe London was the last book, which is the reason why. I don't really know. They're kind of like the wild horse. They run up into the skies. They're really, really powerful, essentially. And Kit's mom had an affair with the Herondale, or had sex with the Herondale. Not so much of an affair. And he just shot light from his hands? I'm confused. I'm sure it could be explained, or I'm sure I'm going to watch a review, like a spoiler reaction to it, or just a spoiler discussion talk about it, like I tend to do after, and I'm sure it'll be explained to me. So I'm not really worried about it, but him and Ty, also, he is so in love with Ty. He is so fucking in love with Ty, and Ty is so fucking in love with him. I know it, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right, so I figured up to you guys, because Julian and Emma are giants. They're murdering people, and they're giants. Someone said in the book they're described as beams of lights. Others are giants. They're 30 feet tall, and the sword became a giant as well. How fun! They've murdered quite a few people, both on the good side and both on the bad side. I'm wondering if this is the monsters that they became. One of the lines that they say was a while ago was "Let us become, let us become light" or something, or let the fire burn. I'm not really sure. This is very typical Cassie Clare to add something huge like this into her final books. I'm not going to spoil what every book has, but this is very, very much into the vein of those, into the final act. So I'm not really ready for the final book of the trilogy to have something huge like this. I'm not real shocked about it, to be honest with you. But I'm curious to see how it goes out. So there are differences here. There's not like many of differences, but there are differences at that. So we're gonna continue on, but I figured I should update you before it's over and I forget. Newest update is that Jules, it took obviously the power of like love and family, which is not shocking, to bring them down, and then it destroyed the Paratime Room, and this is the reason why. So I guessed it correctly, which is very interesting. So they don't turn the monsters, they turn into pure Nephilim, which invokes an embodied rage of pure, like the heavenly fire and type thing. That's what they were. It's very cool. I'm kind of curious to see what they do with this, since it's now been implemented into the lore and canon inside the stories and stuff, so that's very interesting to me. Also, lots died, but lots also survived. I don't think anybody of the main family died, which is really, really good, so that makes me pretty happy inside. Once again, we can have that whole conversation about casualties and what that would mean, and what that should mean, and the whole 9 yards, but I don't really care. I want everybody to survive, and everybody did, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah, I'm hoping we get some resolve between Kit and Ty, and Julian and Emma can now be together, which is a beautiful thing for the books that for everything they had to go through. It's beautiful. So there we go. I still say it's 5, but I'm begrudgingly saying it's 5. I don't understand how Kit doesn't think Ty doesn't love him. I guess I really shouldn't be in this upset over it, but I am, because I care so much. I've cared for like 1,000+ pages. But he just agreed to go with Tessa and never see Kit again, and that really hurt me. And I don't know who the story follows going forward. I mean, I know they're gonna be in the books later on and things, because there's another trilogy after this, which is supposedly going to be the final trilogy. We have the trilogy going on right now, but the trilogy after this is going to be the sequel to these. It hurt me. It hurt me real bad. On one note, it makes me really happy because he's going to get a life that he really wants and things. But on another note, it's just, he doesn't understand, because I know Ty does love him, and I'm sure people in the comments are gonna be like, no, he doesn't. I'm just gonna be like, yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'm in so much pain. And also, Ty's lost everything. I mean, he got his family, but he lost his twin, and now he's losing Kit, who's been... Oh, Kieran had to leave, so it's gonna be Mark and Christina now. Kieran had to go back to Faye, and he didn't want to bring them to be tortured, which was kind. I think that's everything for the moment. So there's no more Alicante. The Concave took it over. So, yeah. Okay. I really fucking hate Zara. I really fucking hate Zara. I think she showed up in Tales of Shadowhunter, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. She could be a little bit too young for that. But I fucking hate her from the moment she showed up. I know she was in The Lost City of Lost. Nope. City of My Fire. So yeah, fucking annoyed. Either way, I'm really close to the end. I think I have like 40 or so pages left. So we're getting there. Hello. Okay, welcome. Today it's the final update for Queen of Air and Darkness. I finished the behemoth of a book. It took me a long time. I ended up getting it actually renewed, so I could finish it later on this evening. But I did finish it. I have some lasting thoughts and opinions. So for Kit and Ty, we'll solve that problem. I do have a feeling this is... See, here's the problem with this book, is that it is definitely like book 3. It's the end of a trilogy. It's the end. You know, a lot of things happen. Annabelle is killed, which is a big, you know, antagonist. The conclave is kind of taken down. Kind of. But there's a lot of lasting questions. And the next book series is taking place, I think, in 2016. I would have to look it up. And so I really do hope it follows multiple of these same characters. I'm not really sure if there needs to be a new cast of characters for these particular, for the next set of books. I'm not really sure if I want that, to be honest with you. For Ty and Kit, I think he knows. I think he can see it. But I think what Kit did was just so bad. So, I mean, what Ty did. So that kind of put a damper in things. Julian and Emma finally being able to be together is definitely in typical Kelsey fashion, that they finally get to be together at the end, and it's just really, it's always refreshing. It's always really nice to see. I liked Alice and Alec and Magnus getting married. I really like that. Also, I'm very curious to see how evil Jace came out of the portal, as that is what it is setting up, is that evil Jace, who is now basically Sebastian, is moving forward. That's what the epilogue is about. Is essentially what they kind of are saying. Hold on. So he like brings Ash to the Sealy Queen, giving Ash a safe place to live. Maybe this was Ash. Maybe Ash could take it away. Because remember, Ash grew wings and stuff. And then he went to Clary Fairchild. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked it though. Say 5 out of 5 stars for me. I think it was phenomenal. I really liked a lot of discussion here. And once again, I'm much more curious about going forward what this means. And going forward and seeing what the repercussions and stuff of this. There is a short story. I didn't read it. I meant to read it before I did. Between Clary and Jace. Which is very interesting. And I don't know if there's anything back here. I think it's more like... just like a cute, like, roll-ups. I really liked it. Either way, not important. The final picture, by the way, of the book. So we have 2, and I said I would showcase them both. So we have the photo. Oh, we have this one, which is of the kids. This is when they're gonna go talk to Big Emma and Julian. And then our final photo. Let me just very quickly make sure. Yeah. Our final photo is of Emma and Julian kissing on the water, which is just so cute, and I really like it, and I'm just really happy for them, to be honest with you. They deserved it. A lot of things happened. Also, they were younger, so I'm not really sure. I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, if you guys did. Okay, sorry, update to the Queen of Darkness vlog, because it's going to be the only place I'm going to talk about this. So I'm currently watching Emma's review, or her reading vlog of Queen of Darkness, before watching her actual full-on spoiler discussion. And, I happened to Google who in the world is going to be the main characters of the Wicked Powers, and the whole world is like, yes, Jacob. Yes, it's going to be you. It's going to be you. Not me, personally, but you know who I'm talking about, if you've been paying attention. The main characters are going to be Kit Haringdale, Ty Blackburn, and Drew Blackburn. I'm crying. Expected to take place 3 hours of Dark Harvest in 2015. The series is meant to connect in some way to the Last Hour series. I'm curious what that is. Jamie, or Rosalius, or Jemine. I can't really pronounce. It's not Jamie, because Jamie is spelled J. Maybe. I know it's pronounced differently. I'm freaking out right now. Oh, they're gonna be 18. Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, including Thais Pedesto. She's attending the new Shadowhunter Academy. Showed multiple love interests and seems to be struggling with anxiety and hand attacks from her past traumas. Ty will be shown in Skullman's. His grief and trauma over the events in Livy's death will be addressed. Certain plot points left out, what's off in Clear Darkness leading to the series, including Soul, the new dynamics of the clay, kid heritage, and the consequences of Ty performing magic, and his link to Livy, among others. The epilogue, the last book of the light. Oh? Sorry for not getting the Eldest Curse's final book. It just said the last one would take place inside. Set to return. Possibly the children. Mark, Christina, Kieran are also set to make appearances. Bring this out. Summit Cassie's plans for all the characters are still around the face the greatest that they've ever faced, and the characters in different generations. Shadowhunter Chronicles will help to ignite and join parts of the biggest battle they'll ever take down, and that's something that will happen in nature. Series currently scheduled isn't scheduled, but Claire hopes to publish around 2022. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, and she's starting her new one, Swordcatchers. I got put her children's book she did with Holly Black on hold. Sorry. Oh, also I brought a tie and a kit poster, so there's that. Alright, now if you guys enjoyed this video, please big fat thumbs up, don't comment down below. Hit subscribe button. I'll see you all next time for another review of a video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.